the couch out loud, roar and rave, human books with stories to share.
All right, so chapter 4 is that transformation led me to do what I do now, or planning to accomplish in the future. And why have I chosen that path? I think I don't know exactly where I'm going to be in my future, but I do know what I love doing, and I think I have new interests every day. But I love connection to music and physics and art and science, and I love connection to nature. Very passionate about the environment, and as a punk, we are very passionate about activism. And I won't go on to a rant about our government today or our local government, but it's something that you need to stand up for. If you've got something that you want to say, and I think that it's great that artists and musicians have that voice, and I think that's one of the biggest powers of art. That's art power to start a conversation. I think all my sculptures have some sort of message to send through, and it doesn't need to be agreed with or disagreed with. It's about starting that conversation and embracing it, and I think that's what artists and musicians do really well. They can broach a topic that would be difficult, or I would find difficult to put into words, and be able to put that into sound or a sculpture, and have people discuss these things on an open plather, an open level that is difficult to have sometimes. And that going through the things that I've been through in my life have really allowed me to open up emotionally. And I think, as I said before, every artist has to do that. You have to be able to open up and embrace yourself. You have to connect with yourself. And so if you're not comfortable and aware of how you feel in yourself, you're not going to make great art. You need to be able to put that out, and it can be happy, it can be sad, it can be angry, it can be times violent on the paper or the canvas if you need to be, but it's about expressing yourself and putting yourself out. And I think anything that I do every day, is whether it's making breakfast or building a sculpture, it's about trying to put myself into that, and be present in the moment, present with myself. And there's a lot of great teachings from people like Eckhart Tolle that talk about being connected with yourself and in the moment, and that breathing space that you put yourself in, and feeling the vibrations around you, and feeling the people, and the connection with what's going on in your life and what's going on around you is a really important aspect of my day. So often I'll find myself just stopping and reconnecting with my body and myself where I am, often before launching into a 6-hour lecture or at university, or performing on stage, or going down into the workshop for 10 hours of grinding. Just connect myself back to the parts of my body, and where I am and what I want to do, what am I trying to achieve. And I don't think you ever need to know what you want to do in the future. You just need to know what do you want to do today. As long as you can decide what do I want to do today, you're going to be fine. It's never too late to change careers. It's never too late to go on a completely different path. Never too late to enroll in uni if that's what you want to do. Never too late to watch a YouTube video and build a ridiculous whale. I think you just to go like, what do I feel like doing today? We don't always have that luxury of just leaving our job and doing that. And that's where it comes down to the hard work. I think for 15 years I've worked 5 different jobs, teaching throughout the day, doing a day job, and then going home at 6 p.m. and working till 3 a.m. on my business and my music and my studio. And that's really the secret behind things. You do your passion on the side till we find something else. And in the creative industries, we need to have multiple income streams. It's not one job for one person. So having multiple jobs is generally how I survive. Through publishing through the label, production with the recording business is my main job as a music producer. But yeah, playing on stage, the sculpting and art, and the teaching, it's all balanced in life. And I guess I enjoy aspects of all of them. I always used to think, like, what would I do if I had $10 million? I'd probably sleep in for a day, maybe half a day, and then get up and record a band the next day. I'd grab an instrument, I'd go make something, build something with my hands, learn something new, because it's what interests me at the end of the day. I probably will stop at some point, but I don't really look at accomplishing anything with it. I'm just trying to satisfy, I guess, a passion in myself to be interested and to live my life. And I guess, having gone through enough stuff, it's embracing each day. And sometimes I think maybe I did die, and maybe this is all a dream, and none of this is real, and maybe you're not real as well. I apologize if that offends you.
I'm there with you, I
Yeah.
understand.
And if it is, so be it. I might as well just go for it. But yeah, it's sometimes a little bit surreal, and but I think people see me doing a lot of stuff and putting a lot of music out there, doing bands and winning awards and doing well, but everything goes wrong. And I don't think people see a lot of that behind the scenes stuff. And over the last 5 years, I've been trying to post more of that for my students. I share with them a lot. Everything breaks, and my body included, and literally nothing works the first time ever. every successful thing, I have a pile of broken things on the ground from the first few times I've tried them beforehand. So you've got to be willing to fail. And so I think I just assume now anything I try is not going to work. Not the first time anyway. But it always works the second or third time because you learn from your mistakes and you get up and you try it again. And I think that sort of gives me confidence in the future that, yeah, I'll just try it again. We'll do it again and see what happens with it. But I think that path that I've chosen to go through is mostly just thinking about it each day as I get up. And I might get up tomorrow and decide I want to be involved in interpretive dance. I don't think so, but I'll start dancing around and having some fun with that. Um, yeah, I've always had a technical aptitude for things. I was the kid that programmed the VCR. My mum used to say that I used to reprogram the Commodore 64 when I couldn't even see it above my head into a synth back in the 80s. But these days it's easy to do the technical stuff, and I love science and technology. I have VR headsets and cameras and robotics. The house is automated. The lights go through. I haven't touched the light switch in like 3 years. The studio's automated. Most things are voice controlled around here. Um, it interests me. It's something that I like doing, and I think I've carried that through from robotics to what I do these days. Um, it's not always what everyone else is into, but it's something that interests me, and I think I combine that well with that connection to music and art, and that really gives me a unique space in what I do with production and music. But again, I always find myself coming back to investing my energy into other musicians and other artists because I'm passionate about seeing them, achieve their dreams, but get their art out there because it hurts to see artists and creative people not able to do what they want to do, not able to play music or not able to paint that picture. And I think every time I do something ridiculous that I'm not supposed to be doing, like the sculpting when I started that, and a lot of people said, oh, you can't sculpt, you're not a sculptor. Doing that inspired 5 or 10 other people to go and do that thing, and I had some private messages from a few friends. I won't mention who they are, but they came back to me afterwards and said, seeing you do that made me realize that I could start painting or start drawing or start doing this as well. And they went off and just started doing it, and just need that initial spark to get off your ass and give it a go. And it's overcoming that fear of failure, overcoming that insecurity of showing that song or that painting or that drawing to someone else. Life's too short to sit there and wonder what would happen. As I said before, at 40, I have zero regrets with anything I've done. I've done some embarrassing shit, and I've put some things out there that weren't good. But yeah, it doesn't feel bad. It all feels freeing to me these days. And I wouldn't have had the achievements and the awards and the tours and the memories I've had with my friends, and the achievements, if I hadn't had those failures along the way. And I think the failures I often appreciate a little bit more these days. As I said before, I dive headfirst into fears. If I feel like, oh, I'm a bit scared about this or I'm a bit insecure, I stop for a minute and I realize, oh, let's do that. And I think when I was going through the health issues, the song with the whale was We Become the Fire, and it was that phrase that kept coming over my head. You either burn in the flames or you become the fire. And that's what that whole experience was for me, just becoming the fire and pushing through all the pain and the anguish of maybe I wasn't going to survive this, and the physical sickness as well, into doing what I wanted to do. And that gave me that burning energy and fire, I guess, to push through that. And then seeing all my friends come together and realize what I was doing and see all that, and all that energy kind of pushed me through that whole period, and I still carry it with me today, and I still have a lot of feelings about that whale that sits on my front lawn, which is the big white whale in Ashmore. Ashmore's only tourist attraction if you're looking on Google Maps. Some of my idiot mates have put it on TripAdvisor and Google Maps, but yeah, it was a ridiculous experience, and I don't know how I got through that, but it changed me in a lot of really positive ways, and I think it changed a lot of people around me as well, and sharing that with people has been a really warm experience. Music is my first passion. I'll always do music, but sculpting has become something that's really for me, and in my professional music career, I have to check a lot of things with people. I have a lot of clients, and there's labels to deal with, and managers, and especially with big artists. If I'm working with an international band, there's plethora of partners and managers and publicists and labels and artists to deal with and ask about every possible thing, and I'm the guy that fixes everything, so I'm dealing with a lot of people's concerns about whether it's a film or a doco or a major album. With the sculpting, it's just me, and so I can just go down the garage. I don't have to ask anyone's permission. I don't have to check designs with anyone. I may have drawn some concept art, and then that goes out the window because I got some other thing in my head because I had some dream about some giant spiral thing, and I was like, oh, let's do that, and grab the steel, and there's probably a machine that bends that, but sometimes it just feels more satisfying to grab onto that thing and just bend that around my body, and that ability to grab that with my hands and do that is what I love about steel. It's tough and it's hard and it hurts, but once you get it there, it stays there and it holds, and yeah, it really a blend between that engineering and the physical touch, and then feeling the vibration through that steel is quite satisfying. One day I might buy some machines that do what it's supposed to do. I don't know what they're called. I'll figure it out or ask some friends. But these days it is fun just bending things by hand and trying not to lose too many fingers in the process. That's the end of chapter 4.
The couch out loud, roar and rave. Human books with stories to share. Their ups and the downs, and everything in between. Pets optional is where it can be seen. I said pets optional is where